It's crazy to me to see the Falcons be 32 on a lot of lists, and I'm like, under the Jags, under the Giants, like
Yeah,
like
the
they're
team that I'm high on is a bold prediction as well. The Jacksonville Jaguars. They'll have more wins than the Titans this coming year.
I think the Saints are a very iffy team. I'm not gonna say I'm not high on them or low on them. I just don't know what the fuck the Saints are.
We've been on that rock star regimen, knowing that I'm heaven sent, higher than I ever been. I got a problem with being.
Man, what's going on, boys? Totally Blitz podcast. Today we talking teams that we're fucking high on and fucking must watch football teams that we think is just gonna shit the bed come 2022, 2023. But before we get into it, go down and like the video, subscribe to the channel as always, and let's get into it. I'm Paul Picking Wyndham Contra. Got my shot for it up.
Hey man, it's your boy Lil KK, the sad fucking Falcons fan, because niggas love to give away your fucking sack leaders and your fucking starting 10-year quarterback. But it's crazy to me to see the Falcons be 32 on a lot of lists, and I'm like, under the Jags, under the Giants, like
The
like they're a bad
Texans.
team. There are bad teams in the NFL, and I like the Falcons to be a. We're at least a promising team. We're a team that's we're gonna be bad because we kind of said let's start over. Like let's get some new checks in this motherfucker. Let's start saving up some money. The NFL is in a transition period where people are only the talent is only getting better. So let's go try some new talent instead of staying with this same old this old unit we've been on. But for teams that I'm low on, is not my motherfucking team, the Falcons. I just don't think they're going to be really high. I would love for us to win 5 games this season, but I feel like we're expected to win less every season, and we always overperform. But because it's so low, niggas don't say nothing. So fuck all of y'all.
Hey, and there's nothing wrong being just resetting. Like if you know you're not winning now, there's no issue with this. Time to reset, get some picks, time to rebuild, all that stuff, and have promise. Like as long as there's promise in the building, like okay, we're going somewhere with it.
So fuck everybody except Dan Orlovsky. That's my dog.
But to start it off, since I guess we'll start off on teams we're low on. I guess we love to come at you before we praise you. So teams that we're low on, this is more about teams that we just think should flat out shit the bed, ain't gonna know what to do. The whole Urban Meyer Jaguar situation become this year. Who do you want to start with, Kev? What's the team that you think this ain't gonna come with it for this year?
So everybody knows I really don't give a fuck about the Cowboys even slightly. But I am a fan of Jerry Jones. I like the way he shows this. He's in the mix 24/7. So I do fuck with Jerry Jones, and I like how he pays the wrong people. So, but the
True.
Cowboys as a team that I did not see get better this season. They lost the best. The one thing about the Cowboys, we always respected their O line. They lost their best player on the O line. They lost. They got Randy Gregory stolen from their ass by the Broncos. And Zeke does not look like he's going to get any better, but they're still going to give him more reps than Tony Pollard, which will cause them at the end of the season, as it usually does when they don't have an established running game in the playoffs. But I don't see the Cowboys doing shit, homie. And it's going to be tough because they're going to Jerry Jones their way in the playoffs. And like people are still going to be on their dick. But at the end of the day, the Cowboys are not going to eat. And to the Cowboy fans out there, hey, somebody had to tell y'all.
Yeah, and I'm gonna co-sign that. That'll be my first team I'm low on. Everything Kev says true. On top of it, Amari Cooper's gone now, and Cedric Wilson. That was your number one and your number three in targets and receiving yards last year, and you get rid of them. Um, you didn't really bring any other wide receivers on to replace them, and then Tyron Smith just fucking tore his ACL or whatever. He's out for the season, offensive lineman. So yeah, this
Oh,
yeah, this is
ouch.
nothing's positive news coming out of them, and for them to be the third team in the win, like they have over under for wins is 10.5, tied for the third most with the Ravens, Broncos, Packers, and Chiefs. Like all those teams are going to be better than the Cowboys next year. I don't know. They're not on that tier of teams, and for them to be ranked that high, yeah, definitely low on them coming into it. All this shit.
Nah, dead ass. But like, I'm they're gonna make a lot of money this year. I'll say that because that
Always.
Jerry Jones world is crazy. I hope. Hey, next year we should take a trip out to that stadium to see what the boys are talking about.
We can see what Jerry talking. Another team, let's talk team that I'm pretty low on is the Titans. They're at 9.5 wins. They're right there. The Colts are favored to win the division, but barely. It's a very close odds, and I think they're not gonna maybe they'll beat up on the Jaguars and they'll beat up on the Texans and get some of the divisional wins. But you lost your number one in AJ Brown. Your number one now is Treylon Burks, who hasn't made no noise throughout preseason training camps. No one he hasn't. There's nothing really coming out like, oh, Treylon Burks is the dude. Like this is the guy. So I'm not high on him. And Derrick Henry's healthy, yeah, but if you thought they were loading the box a lot last year, they were at least worried about Julio and AJ Brown somewhat. That's not going to be the case this year. Like Tannehill works best when he has receivers and a running game. But when there's no receivers and it's all running game, I think this is gonna be. I think 9.5 is too high. It's up there with teams like the Eagles and the Colts. Like they had the same over under as the Colts. I think the Colts are a better team. Same over under as the Bengals at 9.5. That's where they're being ranked as, and they're not as good as those teams. The Titans, I think, they're in for a long season if they only have Derrick Henry. Oh, and then their sack leader, Landry, on the D line, he tore his ACL just like last week, so he's out for the season.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, so
that's what about Simmons? How's Justin Simmons doing?
The Simmons is fine, but now he's gonna be that's all they got now on the line. So
couple teams, they have a great line. They have a great defense. I was actually pretty shocked that you said that because this is former number one team in the AFC.
Yeah, I'm coming out with the big guns, but hey, it's the same with the Cowboys. I didn't see them get better in the offseason, whereas other teams have. If anything, they got worse. Especially like AJ Brown gone, that kind of hurts. Number one sack.
Because AJ Brown was their biggest playmaker a lot of times, and Ryan Tannehill could really hit him with AJ Brown's down there somewhere. He'll make a play. So them losing that is a big fucking deal. But like, wow, low end, less than 9.5 games. What are you thinking? 6, 7 games?
I think they'll have like 8 because you'll still get the Jags, and I think the Texans will even split a game with them coming into this year. Like something like in the Jags, I think they might even 6, 7. That's where I'm coming.
What's your coach's name again? I fuck with the Titans. The coach, what's his name again? Big Dog. Former Patriots player.
Yeah, Vrabel, Mike Vrabel.
Vrabel, yeah.
I love Vrabel. You cannot not love Vrabel. But I don't know. What about you, Ken? Let me hear a team you're low on. Let's see. Let's change the subject. I'm not a bad guy.
Nah, you're a bad guy, man. Very bad guy. But hey, I'm very low. Don't tell my brother this, but I'm very low on the Seahawks this season. I kept seeing on fantasy, and I would see like Noah Fant at the tight ends, and I was just
how low are you? Because they're at 5.5, which is a game above the Falcons. Do you think?
I don't think they're a better team than the Falcons this season. I'll keep it up. At least the Falcons are promising. I think the only person that's okay with this team is Pete Carroll, because he knows that like Pete Carroll's just sitting there like, well, we had to start over eventually. Like I'm not getting any younger, so I think that team's still well coached. I think that team still has, but they lost 2 of their leaders, like big dogs over there. Like they really ushered in a new era, and I just don't know how that's gonna translate, especially on the first season. And like DK Metcalf wasn't the most. There were times you forgot he was on the field that last year. So like I don't know if that's somebody I could trust to be a game set. Rashard Penny, I feel like gonna have a big workload. I'm mad I didn't get him as a steal in the draft for fantasy, but stupid motherfucker chose Cordell Patterson instead of D-Hop because some motherfucker picked D-Hop. I'm not going to say no name.
And that O-line is still always iffy. And on top of it, their defense has not been the same. They lost Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, and the best player on defense is the safety. What's Brett?
Adams, who should be a linebacker.
Yeah, like Big Dog, he's a big hitter, and I think if he played in the 2000s, he would have been a big cheese. Like nobody would have fucked with, but it's 2022, and offenses are fucking phenomenal of getting on just what they can do now. So like, I'm not high on the Seahawks even a little bit.
All right, no, not
And
shot.
who's the starting quarterback between
Geno Smith. Geno Smith will probably be the starter. Drew Lock was fighting for it, but he didn't. I think they named Geno Smith as the one.
Drew Lock shouldn't have been starting last year, so I'm glad that he's back on the bench.
Team that I'm low on are my third team to round. It's just my third team. I believe my third team is the Patriots. 8.5 wins. They're tied with us to be number 2 in the AFC East.
McIntyre. Not fucking with McIntyre.
Not fucking with McIntyre. I think every time we play, like the Saints, they got destroyed. They got destroyed both times they played us. Not destroyed, but we beat them both times they played us. And then they got completely destroyed by the Bills in the playoffs when Mac needed to throw the ball. And like there were some bad throws in the preseason. There's been terrible news coming out of camps. No one knows how to call an offensive play. They got Joe Judge, who's a special teams coordinator kind of dude, and he's calling defensive plays, and he got Matt Patricia, who's never called an offensive play in his life. He's a defensive dude. He's your offensive coordinator. And then Bill Belichick, who, I mean, yeah, he knows offense, but like, I don't know. I just don't see this team really making too much noise because Mac Jones, I don't think he's that dude unless he has a great run game. To need a great run game, you need a great O-line. Their O-line got worse. They let Shaq Mason's big ass go. So
they got the walk. I mean,
so Damian Harris, Ramon Stevens can do the best they can, but I don't think the run game's gonna get started. You're gonna see Mac crumble, and this is gonna be a bad year for the Patriots offense. And their defense is not as good as last year. They'll let JC go. Yeah, like these are all teams that I look at their team last year, way better than the team that's coming into this year.
No cap. Hey, look,
teams around them in the same division all gone better. So there's no way that I can look at them and be like, yeah, they're gonna be fighting for this. I think they might be fighting for the Jets for the last place of this division.
I think I wasn't high on them last season. I just understood that Bill always has something up his sleeve. I don't think this team will be more than a 7-win team, but I just know Bill always has something up his sleeve. He's gonna figure something out, and they got to run that bitch 30 times. They're gonna figure out. They're gonna have 5 different running backs, all with a different skill set, trying to get these yards for them.
How about you, Kev? What's your third final team?
My third and final team, Carolina Panthers.
Oh, they are sitting there. They're right there. They're on top of the shit pile. Like of all the teams that aren't going to be kind of good, they're kind of like the team that maybe might sniff playoffs.
I think Baker Mayfield and Christian McCaffrey is a good combination. I think you can make that argument that the reason why he couldn't really do anything was that Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, he couldn't hit them like that. He can't really pass it. So, Kareem Hunt is a good receiving back, but like he just couldn't really get that chemistry with them. So I think Christian McCaffrey just being able to run around and kind of just always be a problem and a threat to be keyed in on is something that he can take advantage of. But I don't think they're tight end, and I don't think him and DJ Moore are going to have great chemistry the same way that Odell couldn't score with him. I think it's going to be the same problem. And they just paid DJ Moore, you feel me? So, like, he's going to be there for a little second. So they can't get it on. And DJ Moore already wasn't high on Baker when they first brought up the news that the Panthers was in the mix. So anything's a step up from Sam Darnold and Cam Newton. But at the end of the day, I don't think this team actually got better. They let Stephon Gilmore dip after the season. So I just don't think this team really is anything nice. And then Matt Rule, I wasn't convinced as him as a coach. Maybe for those first 4 games last season when they were 4-0, they was beating the Redskins and shit, thinking that they was hot shit. But I don't really see them as a good team this season.
All right. No, I can't really disagree with everything.
I'm not done. I'm not done.
Put the cherry on them, boys.
I don't think the Saints are also – I think the Saints are a very iffy team. I'm not going to say I'm not high on them or low on them. I just don't know what the fuck the Saints are. Like, Jameis Winston, you picked up Chris Olave, you're getting Michael Thomas back. And Jameis Winston is somebody that can hit them in the deep. That's what he needs. But we don't know what the fuck they are right now. I'm not going to say they're high or low.
New head coach.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck is a New Orleans Saint in 2022?
Oh, shit. All right. The boy Kevin had to sneak that one in just in case you weren't listening. Well, Well, now that we've tore some teams down, let's praise some teams. Let's put some sleepers that no one's putting some respect on, anything like that. What's a team that you're high on right now?
I'm gonna let you go first because I want to steal it.
All right, well, I'm gonna go personally. I'm gonna talk about Miami Dolphins first.
Okay, well,
First and foremost,
I didn't want to steal your team. You feel me?
at 8.5, I mean, the hammer to 8.5. We won 9 games last year, and our fucking head coach didn't even talk to the quarterback, and the locker room was split 50-50. Rumors about Deshaun Watson coming, the Stephen Ross tampering, all this shit was going on last year, and we still got 9 wins after starting like 1-7. So
I was one of the teams that gave y'all those
yeah.
months. Like,
And a lot of our losses were field goal games to the Falcons, field goal games to the Jags. Like this year, though, Tua has Tyreek Hill, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, Tyreek Hill's is going on and talking all this extra shit just because Tua's not the guy." He's talking all this extra shit because the media, all they do is talk bad about Tua. So Tyreek Hill, a big name, big voice, he can come out and say some hype shit, get this locker room going, get the fucking buzz going in Miami. And people are telling me there's a buzz down there right now, and fucking Jalen Waddle. Who's guarding Jalen Waddle as a number 2? These are 2 of the speediest guys. We got Chase Edmonds in the backfield, who was RB1 over there on the Cardinals last year. Mike McDaniels knows how to run the fucking ball. The fast throws, accurate throws from Tua, O-line that went out and got the best left tackle in free agency last year in Taron Armstead. Like this, Connor Williams from the Cowboys, who's a do it all, play center, plus left guard, play a little tackle if he got to. Like they went out and did things to make this team better. And you're telling me I can still get the same over under on the same win total we had last year? Give me that all day.
I like it. I like it. If you like it, I love it. I'm high on you guys this season. I really think you guys can make something shake. And I love to see y'all beat somebody that y'all not supposed to beat in the playoffs because that AFC is fucking loaded.
Very low.
But for me, I'm gonna keep it AFC. I'm very high on the Steelers. I think Deontay Johnson is
Stole my team.
Hey, I was about to say I didn't want to steal it because I didn't want to steal it. You feel me? But I had to steal it. But it was better that than the Dolphins. So I like the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think anybody is an upgrade from Big Ben at quarterback last season, and I think Najee Harris is coming into his own. I wish they could have gotten the AJ Brown sweepstake because it's like just one dynamic ass receiver that can make something shake. But you still have Chase Claypool, and you have a good team. You still have that defense. You have T.J. Watt, Defensive Player of the Year, Mika Fitzpatrick. Like you got good. Micah Fitzpatrick.
And I got Miles Jack.
Yeah, like you have a good team, and you still have that quarterback. You still have the coach Mike Tomlin, and you got Brian Flores on the assistant coaching staff. So you got good. You just have a great camp around you, and I think this team barely snuck into the playoffs last year. Really, probably shouldn't have been in the playoffs last year, but it doesn't matter about what they didn't do. It's about what they did do. So I respect them to the fullest, and I really think the Steelers can make something shake.
Yeah, but anybody's better than what Big Ben was last year. And shit, you cannot go wrong with the Steelers. I'm 7.5 wins. I'm taking the over. That's the same. They're under the Saints. They're under the Patriots. They're tied with the Commanders and Giants with the same win total. So like, Steelers way better than all these teams.
By far.
Another team that I'm really high on, I would probably say is the Raiders. If you've seen the MVP video and everything, you know how much we're high on Derek Carr, Devontae Adams. They had the connection since college. You already have Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller. Josh Jacobs might even have a good year now. There's so many weapons on the receiving corps. So new coach, a lot less toxic locker room with the new coach in there, and not the same off-field issues. And you're telling me the win totals at what, 8.5? 8.5 wins for this team that went to the playoffs last year and definitely got better. Like Devontae Adams is a fucking playmaker. This team is like sniffing playoff dirt probably, and you tell me they're the same thing as the Patriots and Saints and stuff like that. No, this team's going out there and getting more than 8.5 wins. People are too busy looking at the Broncos and Russ.
You ought to respect that team.
How about you, Kev? What's another team you high on?
It's not that I think they slipped on. I just don't know. I'm gonna throw another I don't know team in there, and I'm gonna throw the Denver Broncos. We kept saying all they need is a quarterback. They got it now. So, but what the fuck are they gonna do? Because this is you got right at a time where every other team in the world got motherfucking right. There are teams that got much better that people aren't talking about. The Chargers got much better. They're high in the Super Bowl odds, so they sound like a little overrated, but they got much better. They fixed what they needed, and they have a defensive minded coach. So now that they've added parts to the defense. What the fuck is up? So I don't know about the Broncos. I'm not sure that they win top two in the division, even though I feel like they got so much better and they added exactly what they needed to a team that was already good.
No, that's a team I'm pretty high on too. Like I've always been Bronco County with the run game. Jerry Jeudy can separate from any defensive cornerback, and now they got Russ. As long as they can protect him, I think they could protect. The defense is always good. There's never been a year, even without Von Miller, they still played pretty. Patrick Surtain was a great draft pick last year. Fucking balled out as a rookie at corner. Oh, let me see. It's actually getting kind of hard to find teams I'm high on. So this is a team I'm not saying they're gonna go to the playoffs. I'm not coming with the crazy like that. But to put into perspective, a team that I'm high on is a bold prediction as well. The Jacksonville Jaguars. They're gonna be higher in the division than the Titans. They'll have more wins than the Titans this coming year. The Jaguars, people can hate on Trevor Lawrence, but man, Trevor Lawrence was the greatest quarterback coming out of college, like up there with Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck type numbers. And I'm not ready to be like, oh, he wasn't that guy yet. Like he had fucking Urban Meyer as his head coach last year. This is gonna be Doug Peterson, Super Bowl winning coach with now there. They got Travis Etienne, who tore his Achilles last year before he even got to touch the ball. So now he's back.
He's out of UF. They love them Florida Gators.
No, he's from Clemson. He was Trevor Lawrence's running back.
Oh, my bad. I'm tripping. I'm thinking Etienne. I'm thinking because Etienne, there's an Etienne that plays for the Gators right now. My bad.
But then James Robinson's coming back healthy, and we love James Robinson, like fucking as a running back. So you got two killer running backs now. They went out and got Christian Kirk, and people love to laugh at Christian Kirk. He just got paid because the Jaguars paid him a lot because they had the money for it. But Christian Kirk was a 1,000-yard receiver as a number 2 guy on the Cardinals. He's now a number 1 dude. He's gonna make some noise. Like I think Christian Kirk's gonna have a pretty good season. He's gonna be worth it. They still got I can't remember the other receiver's name, but I just think this team they spend a lot of money. They didn't go out and get all-stars, but they went out and got B+ guys. They went out. They may have paid them like A+ dudes, but they still went out and got B type of dudes. That this team got a lot better off this offseason.
I think the team, it was already brought up, but another team of the Eagles. The Eagles, I really felt like are a team that would mesh well. They figured out we should run the fucking ball, so let's run the damn ball. They got AJ Brown, and I feel like this team is just a team that's only going to get better together the longer they are together. And they made the playoffs last season, so like the Eagles, we got to put respect on the Eagles as well. I love talking football because, like, I would say as well because I got to be throwing in my I gotta throw on my tie, like I'm on first take type shit. I'm
Kevin Smith,
man. I'm telling you every year. But hey, man, this has been the sleepers episode, man. And how many of these? So we've been 2 low on, who we feel like it's being slept on. But who you gonna bet on? Who's the team that you know can beat the spread every time? Because last year was the Lions.
Oh, the spreads, yeah. I'm not too sure, but teams I expect to go early and beat some spreads is probably like I think the Dolphins are being undervalued, the Raiders, like teams that we were high on that people are sleeping on, like the Jaguars. I think they'll keep games very close this year. So if I don't think they'll be getting blown out.
What about the Vikings? I feel like that's a team that's going to keep every game close this season again.
Yeah, that was another team that I'm a little high on as well. But then I saw the win total, and I was like, 9.5 seems about right. 9 and 10 wins seems about right for them.
Can they rival the Packers this year in that division?
I think no one can rival Aaron Rodgers, but at the same time, there'll be a team that make it into the wild card. They'll be kind of tough just because, like, They got a new coach that wants to throw the ball with Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson. Dalvin Cook's healthy again for now. He always gets hurt as well. They went out and got some defensive players in the draft. So they're trying to win right now.
No, I like it. I feel like they're going to be a good team. I feel like that division is different this season. But one team I want to bring up before we forget is the Bears. I don't think the Bears did anything to get better, even slightly. I feel like I think they're already ready to put their coach on a hot seat, and they're just like hoping that there's better options this year. And then I really don't think they're invested long term in Justin Fields, and I think it's going to turn into like how they kind of set up Baker last year with the Browns. It's going to turn into that, like, we're giving you nothing, so the fans are going to bitch regardless. So it's your fault, nigga.
And the defense ain't too much better. Like, they let Khalil Mack go. Like, nothing is coming out well for them. But at the same time, fantasy-wise, I do think Darnell Mooney might eat just because there's no other receiver on this team at this point. So even though it's going to be garbage points, double, I don't know, it's just there's going to be a lot of opportunity because they just let everybody else go. It's just him and Fields and Montgomery at this point in the offense.
I think I think the Bears are what people think the Falcons are.
And I could co-sign that because I do kind of like the Falcons a little bit. But there's been the sleepers, and there's also been the teams that we also think shit in the bed when they wake up. So if you didn't know, now you know. Bitch.
Got a problem with being problematic. Get the light beam on me, ready for electrostatic. Don't you step into this box if you're not batting. Then my gang got tools, you can call them boy crap. Man, this gang got rules, man, you better watch your passes. This ain't 9